Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Moonlight Racing League Monday Night Mayhem live on the Vortex Racing Network. It's me, Mean Gene Bunny, alongside my tag team partner, Arron Brown. Arron, welcome to the network. How are you feeling tonight here at Echo Park Motorsport?
Well, feeling great. I think we're going to see a really good race tonight. 120 laps tonight, so these drivers can be slipping inside of the round all night long. Gonna have to deal with that handling of the race car, get some tire, control their tire a little bit, and I think we're going to see a really good race out there tonight. There's going to be a lot of slicing and dicing up in the front, but we'll see how well these drivers can work their way up to the front, and we'll see how well they can see who can park in the victory lane later tonight.
I'll tell you what, we've seen some really big crowds so far. 31 guys in the opener, 30 last week at Charlotte, expecting to see more. I think we got 31 cars. What do we got out there right now, Aaron? 31 guys?
Yeah, 31 people showing, 31 drivers entered into this one. We get 23 currently on the track, or their car on the racetrack. So, got a few drivers. We got a little pack rolling right here, 5-car pack off the turn. So, these guys getting a little bit of practice, kind of running in a pack and getting bump drafting, and that's definitely going to be a key tonight. Bump drafting very well, especially here on the front straightaway. Kind of with that quad oval, it's a lot tougher bump draft compared to like Daytona or Talladega, where it's just a little tri-oval. But so you kind of have a little double apex on the front straightaway there. Oh, and Jax Duvall going around off turn 2 already, so that kind of shows you how the trouble some of these bumps might get tonight.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, you can't see it, but big smile on my face watching Duvall go around. Always excitement in the air when Florida Man is on the track. Lots of drivers not happy in 2021 when they did a reconfiguration, repave here, 28-degree banking, and now this thing is a super speedway, and we are jacked to see this thing go down tonight. This, of course, season number 5 for the Moonlight Racing League, race number 3 of our 13-race season. It's a win-and-you're-in situation. Week 1, we see Colin Bollinger go ahead and take that win at Charlotte. Last week, Andrew Bolander, his teammate, takes the win. Who will punch their ticket tonight? You know, and we just saw him, Aaron, Jax Duvall with that spin. That has been a really fast guy here at Atlanta week to week. Would not be surprised to see Florida Man try to get up there. Who's the fastest guys in practice so far, you think?
Right now, on the top of the board with the fastest practice lap is Hunter Hall, 26 change. He ran a 29.558 on the top of the board, but we'll see how it kind of plays out in qualifying. Qualifying definitely well with track position, but can't really get a good look at qualifying times in kind of super speedway practice, because everyone with the draft, getting all side drafting and everything. So we'll see how well some of these drivers can get qualifying pretty well. Be very smooth on the inputs. You can, qualifying is super speedway. You're gonna be very smooth. Gonna hit that line perfectly. Any slight movement, you could cost you a 100th or 2, and that could cost you multiple spots. So qualifying definitely going to be a big importance here with track position, especially. It's definitely a big help that, especially somewhere like here in Atlanta, it's kind of a little harder to move up through the field compared to Daytona and Talladega. But we'll see how this qualifying, who can be the smoothest and who can put it on the pole. One I kind of want to look out for, Kevin Kyle, definitely a good driver to look out for, as he's as recently in the Bonfire Racing Premier Cup Series. I just had that on Legends Racing Network. I broadcasted that one. He had a little bit of practice with that qualifying there too. So some of these drivers who've ran this recently, especially Real Life just went to Atlanta not too long ago, and officials, so drivers practicing qualifying there can get a little bit more experience with qualifying. We'll see who can kind of be the smoothest and put it on the pole.
It was a great season finale for the Bonfire Race League. We saw that Sunday on Legacy, and great end to that season. Want to give a big thanks to Kevin Kyle, adminning that season number 12. A lot of excitement over there. Can't wait, as we're going to see soon. David Medina Sr. going to take over the adminship with the help of Matt Schofield, Chris Smorrell, and Nick Mills. So lots of new faces in our sister league, the Bonfire Race League. Can't wait to see. And of course, tomorrow night, little more bonfire action, right, Aaron? I think we got a Tuesday show coming.
Yeah, I got the truck series tomorrow night. Everyone's gonna get ready and go trucking tomorrow night, so that'll definitely be fun to watch as well, coming up tomorrow night on the Vortex Racing Network. So that'll be fun. But tonight we got the Cup driver, these Cup cars out on the Atlanta, so this will be fun. Qualifying just getting on their way. We got Eric Thornton on the racetrack right now, so got a few drivers out on the racetrack getting ready to set their laps.
He's part of that high side hustler team. Remember, they did win that team championship last year with David Owens and Eric Thornton, Tony Iverson, and Buddy Sully. They have come back to defend their title. Little twist this year, Aaron, on the teams. You can have up to 4 guys on a team, but only 2 positions will count at the end of each race. And when I say 2 count, I mean 2. So if you're the only guy on your team, guess what? You get a 0 for that second spot. Interesting twist, but I think it makes it more fair for smaller teams and also going to encourage better attendance. But Thornton, this is a guy who runs top 10 all the time. No surprise here tonight, trying to get up on top of that leaderboard. Boy, he's got a lot of fast guys around him too.
Yeah, it puts it P3, but he instantly slots back down to P4.
Instantly.
Kevin Brower goes to P2. Alex Hillman on the top of the board on lap number on his lap with a 31.581. He's currently on lap number 3 right now. Just getting some extra practice laps here. We're going to get practice down pit road, which is kind of a late entry there, but you also definitely pit road going to be a big challenge because you got to enter on the backstretch here at Atlanta. So that's definitely going to be a fun thing to watch. As fuel is going to be around 40 to 46 laps on fuel tonight, so we're definitely going to see at least 2 stops.
I love this thing, especially if we see those green flag pit stops. I feel like, Aaron, that really can separate the good drivers from the average drivers. I mean, we all bought the console. We all have a wheel. We practice turning left. But pitting, what an art. Don't come in too slow. Don't come in too fast. Don't spin. Hit your pit. Come in and out. Always a great chance to really cause a gap between the experienced driver and the veteran. I'm not going to say pro, but, you know, that guy. You know, speaking of that guy, Aaron, I also want to bring up another fella, Joe Volpus. Joe Volpus, this guy has won 3 of the last 4 league races he's been in. I mean, I think streaks are real, right?
Yeah, for sure. Just saw him yesterday morning put it in victory lane in the bonfire season finale. So that was definitely he's definitely got that super speedway skill to it, and we'll see if he can put it in the victory lane tonight.
Yeah, Joe Volpus, of course, he's on that East Coast Alliance team. Teams were finalized today. 9 teams will be competing for that championship, and we'll keep track. Speaking of championships, I think we got. Give points. We got points, Aaron, just for the 2 races that we've had. Now, of course, this is not indicative of, you know, who's going to be up at the top or not. It is a win and you're in situation. But right now, Andrew Bolander, powering his win last week, is on the top of the point scale, moving through, and as well as his partner and teammate, Colin Bollinger, with his win at Charlotte. Those 2 guys have guaranteed. So it's still 10 slots available for these other fellas as we are going to race through this 13-week season until it all wraps up at Kentucky after a 7-race playoff. Now, here's the guy, David Owens. David missed last week because of some important I'm going to chase a girl action. And now good to see David back on the track.
Yeah, for sure. David Owens going to be the last driver to complete his lap here. No one else on the racetrack. We'll see what he can do here in qualifying. Looked pretty strong on the start of the lap. Looked very smooth at the corners. We'll see coming through the tri-oval here. Going to be a 31.549. It will put it at the top of the board at the last possible second. David Owens goes to the top.
Man, I'll tell you what, David Owens, this guy, I call him Zero Chill, and it's not because he'll put you off, because he's a real helpful fella. It's just because he's got ice water running through those veins. Nothing affects this dude out on the track, except sometimes Sean Walton. But other than that, this dude can keep it cool, put down laps, run strategy. Man, Aaron, this guy beats you on speed. He'll beat you on strategy. He'll beat you on tires. He'll beat you on gas. I mean, he's a hard pass out there. This guy, a solid driver.
And he proved that tonight already, putting it on the pole with that lap time at the last possible moment. Wanted to just get kind of rub it into everybody else, just getting that last second lap time, and puts it on the pole with just in front of Jose Medina, right on that front row, as for these drivers getting gritting up and ready to go racing for tonight's 120 lap event. So I think it's about time. Let's run it through our starting lineup for tonight's race here at Atlanta, or Echo Park Speedway, as the new update new name is. But David Owens on the pole with a 31.549, and Jose Medina will join alongside him on the front row. And Jax Duvall will be P3, Robert Babcock in P4. Top four only separated by 20 thousandths of a second. That shows you how close it was out there in qualifying. Michael Mata in P5, Alex Hillman in 6th, and 7th being the 36th Dalton Geyer. Blair Saunders will start 8th tonight in that 98 machine. Joseph Alpes will start 9th, and rounding at the top 10 will be the 5 of Brandon Finley. I'll hand it off to you for the next stint.
900 numbers getting down into regular numbers. Jordan Fisher going to start in 11th. Remember, Jordan ran so fast, got second in week 1, led 43 laps last week. Expecting a lot out of that number 39 here today, starting in the 11th position. Rich Swingle going to be on the outside of row number 6, starting in 12th. Zach Clausen, first year here with Monday Night Mayhem. That number 83 driver is going to start in 13th. KB, welcome back, KB. Got that number 9 in the 14th spot. Tyler Clunan, last race as a 900 number, unless he decides to keep the old 911. Who knows? He's going to be in 15th. Eric Thornton, high side hustler, going to start in 16th. And here come the boys that didn't want to qualify. They're down there smoking cigarettes and drinking beers. Colin Bollinger, Sean Walton, Tony Iverson. Boy, this thing reads like a rap sheet right here. Jonathan Casabir, Bolander, Parham, Kenneth Redinger, welcome back. This guy's got speed. I am so happy. Aaron, I'm really happy to see that guy back. Matt Novella, Kevin Kyle, Tom Fred Lester, John Beverly, the commish, Lucas Alves, Jack Sanders, the Colonel, Steve Lewis, Brandon Guerin, and Hunter Hall. Now, wait a minute. Wasn't Hunter Hall the fastest guy in practice?
He was. Didn't take a qualifying time there, and that's our 32-car field. So Hunter Hall, he wants to go for the tail end of the field and go to the front. So we'll see. We'll have to watch that 26-car work his way through the draft. Definitely have that speed in practice. He'll definitely put on a show tonight, cutting his way through the field.
He'll get to say he passed everybody if it works out in his favor. The DDI driver, Hunter Hall, running in that number 26. Boy, you can hear those engines revving up. We are getting ready for some serious action here tonight at Echo Park. Race number 3 here. Mean Gene Money in the booth. Aaron Brown as well, about to bring you some exciting action for Monday Night Mayhem as the boys are doing the pace lap.
Now coming to 1 to go, and the pace car, the iRacing pace car, going to take those lights, going to turn off on top of that pace car. We're going to get ready to go for 120 laps under the lights here. It'll definitely be a fun one. We're going to see a lot of slicing and dicing, a lot of shaking up, especially after around 20 laps or so. Those tires are going to start to get nice and hot, and they're going to get slippy and slidey, and we're going to see these drivers sliding all over the place and battling for some grip in the racetrack. So definitely, Atlanta with the new update in Super Speedway. You think it'd kind of be like Daytona, Talladega? Tires won't really matter that much, but it'll definitely matter here at Atlanta. You'll slip and slide around all over the place, and fresh tires will be a little bit useful at the tail end of this race. Or also, just make sure you don't go out there and overheat them. You can't go out full balls to the walls, as they say, right off the very start. But you can kind of lift a little bit entering the corner, kind of save a little bit of tire, and kind of keep that heat, not slide them as much. It'll definitely pay off for you in the long run. Maybe allow you to make a little bit more precise moves and kind of a more quick moves when you got those fresher tires on you.
I mean, it's a super speed. It's a super speedway under a microscope with the thinner, narrower straightaways. It just seems to really put a premium on that tire wear. And I love you say you can't just go balls to the wall at the beginning. Just send that email to Jax Duvall starting in 3rd in that 84, because that fella, he does not know the meaning of moderation. Outside of him, row 2, number 2, Target Toyota, Robert Babcock, the Rooster. This guy, 2 wins just a year ago, back again to cause mayhem. Here we go. Pace car is off the track. David Owens on the pole, keeping an eye on that number 8 Nas, looking for Chad the flag man to wave him down. And ladies and gentlemen, here we go, off in live here at Echo Park.
Actually, I think the pace car maybe pushed out a little bit there. I think we're gonna get an extra pace lap. We're gonna get an extra pace lap here.
Who's driving? It's a ghost pace.
Yeah,
he's coming back. He's coming back. Look, the pace car's coming back.
He wanted to lead that field one more lap there. We'll see. Maybe he might get a few more extra laps if we get a few cautions out there. But we want to get him one more lap out in front. One more lap out in front for the pace car.
Oh, my word. I don't know if I could get that excited again. Jeez Louise, who knows what's going to happen. You know, other drivers, though, we should keep an eye on. If you look toward the back, Kenneth Rediger in that 909, that guy's won a lot of races here in this league. Jonathan K. Sabir in that 73. This guy, his whole team, MC Motorsports, K. Sabir, Mata, and Jay Stinson, those three just seem to work wonderfully on super speedways. And then you got some X factors out there, newer guys to the league. The 43 is Zach Clausen. Can't wait to see. There's just so much stuff. I really am excited to see what is going to happen when all these different chemistries of drivers come together. And boy, we're finally under the lights, Aaron. This stuff looks gorgeous.
And all these beautiful paint schemes coming to light under the bright lights of Atlanta. And this time, the pace car are going to take that hard left turn on the pit road. Hopefully for real this time, but we're going to work our way down to that Echo Park Automotive restart zone. Here at the Echo Park Speedway, Owens and Medina are going to lead them on the green, and we're underway here from Atlanta.
He is going to lead them side by side by side. Look at that, 15 deep as we're going to go into row number one. Medina on the outside has no help as the outside row falls apart. Medina trying to side drop the 84 of Jax Duvall. Michael Mata, third car on the inside, pushing hard. Owens, he's got help from Duvall. Duvall says, you just wish you do. Duvall peaks up high on the backstretch. Duvall and Owens side by side into three.
And it's number 3, Duvall's going to hold that outside lane. He's going to have to side draft that 8 machine of David Owens down the racetrack, but no help from behind. Medina's going to finally get some help from behind. He's going to try and push Duvall, but no, he's going to go to the outside, 3 wide already, and Duvall in the middle, nowhere, no help behind him. And now they're going to hop behind, got one car hopping behind him there. That 2 machine of Robert Babcock going to hop behind Jax Duvall, and Jose Medina are going to go all the way to the back from the top lane.
Up front, Owens and Mata, single file, double file behind them, 3 car lengths back. That's Dalton Geyer, truck racing sensation. Now he's in a cup. Him and Duvall side by side. Joe Volpus and Robert Babcock behind them. It's starting to get confusing and crazy here as the pack closes back up. Owens got single file now. He's got Jax Duvall behind him, and then they're 3 deep, double wide behind, racing on to the backstretch.
The outside lane trying to get something moving now. We got a few cars trying to join on the outside. The outside definitely a little bit tougher with this package, just trying to get moving. But you got to side draft that inside lane back, and there they go. They get the Mata falling back just a little bit. They got a little gap to the Owens, and here comes that outside lane. Duvall with the shove from Babcock on the outside lane. He's going to side draft down to the turn number 1. Can he get the move done into turn 1 and clear down? He's going to be side by side with Owens through 1 and 2. Off of turn number 2, the run going to go to the outside, possibly here for Duvall. Is it going to work out into turn number 3?
Lane, get their act together. Remember, it was Jose Medina in the front row on the outside, already fallen back to 8th place. Outside lane might not be the place to be, but now look at Duvall. He got the speed off the push of Babcock, grinds it back down in front of Owens, leaving Babcock no room. Hey, thanks for the push, pal, but I'll take it from here.
Babcock going to get back to his outside off of turn number 2. He's got the help from the 08 of Alex Hillman behind him. Now they're going to try and shove that outside lane just a little bit more forward, and we're going to cycle forward with Babcock maybe getting into the race lead. He's not just clear yet. Duvall through 3 and 4. They're going to pull back even as the inside lane with the shorter distance. We'll see if Babcock can get the shove off of Hillman off of turn number 4 with the run through the quad oval. Going to try and get down to the turn number 1. Not going to have enough to clear him. They're still going to be side by side throughout the entire field for the race lead.
Saw Jax Duvall win here 2 years ago, and he's putting on a similar show, but he's got Robert Babcock, 2 wins last year. Babcock would love to add another one here tonight. Who's a fast mover, you might ask me, Aaron? That's Tony Iverson. He started in 19th, and now he's got that number 13 up into 9th. High side hustler Tony Iverson already shaking and moving here at Echo Park.
Already moving up, and now you mentioned that, here's a good moment to see kind of our most positions gained so far tonight. Iverson up 11, our biggest move in the race so far. Richard Swingle up 5, and Eric Cooper up 5 as well. Now he just moves up 6. That's going to be changing all night long as these drivers slicing and dicing through spots. But here comes that outside lane. They're going to clear down. Hillman's going to get clear. Babcock not able to clear down in front of Hillman, and now Hillman down to the bottom. Babcock no help on the outside lane. He's got Medina a few car lengths back, but Hillman going to take the race lead on the bottom. They're going to make a little contact though. It's going to be a big wiggle for Hillman. Duvall's going to the bottom, 3 wide. We got slicing and dicing calamity into turn 1.
Doesn't want to be friends unless you're behind him. Hillman to the lead. This is the car. It's from high to low. It's the Rooster Crooster. Robert Babcock now in the lead with Hillman behind him. Jax Duval, he's not going anywhere. And look on the outside. Jose Medina is making a return from the dead.
Off at turn number 4 into turn number 1 here now. Babcock in the race leader, single file for the top 4. Owens trying to work that outside lane down. As you saw, if you turned into the bonfire on Sunday morning, Owens was no stranger to work that outside lane. But we have our first caution of the night. I think Kevin Brower, big junk off of turn number 2. Massive wreck early on.
Look at that. That's the number 9 of Brower, the 115 of Lucas Alves. I can see the 73.
Oh,
that's
yeah, one car flying in there.
Somebody T-bone.
One was the looked like a 900 car there, just flew right in there. It was Tyler Clunin. Tyler Clunin, no front bumper here. He just flew in at the last second. Let's take a look at what happened. That all conspired off of turn number 2. Here's Tyler Clunin. Sees the wreck happening. I guess just flies right in there. It's a lot of those drivers. See a lot of cars destroyed there. Redinger.
He said, "Did you call 911?"
Redinger was a piece of that. He was on the apron there, not really showing, not rendering in properly, but we're kind of trying to see what happened there.
Oh my word! Clunin came in hard. Oh, that's the 23 of Sean Walton involved in that. Lots of foolishness. Walton's so fast. Remember, he won the 6-pack. Mini season between 4 and 5, and there he is grinding away. There's the Raptor 48 also. Oh my, a lot of big names in this one, Aaron.
Here we go. Here's a better look as you see Redinger, and there's a few. It's actually a secondary. There's a wreck up in front, and the kind of a secondary pack kind of piled into that a little bit. So Redinger got a piece, but there was also a little bit pack up in front of him that that's kind of where it started off. So it's kind of at the tail end of this lead pack up here. So he kind of starts with that 3 wide. You have the 39 there on the bottom. I think that's kind of where it starts. Short and Fisher here. Let's see where that kind of starts out here. Yeah, it starts up there with that 16 machine. Michael Mata got a piece of something. Got turned around, and a lot of drivers just piled into it. There's not enough time to slow down in the banking. Just kind of carry them down into it. So that kind of started off kind of that front of the pack in a way, kind of right in that middle pack here. Michael Mata 3 wide with Eric Thornton, and they kind of double filed back out here. And I think we had a little bit of contact into the corner. Yeah, it looked like that. Mata just kind of got drifted up into, and it just kind of sent around, and everyone else just kind of piled on into it. Not enough time to react to it.
Beverly, the 01, also involved in that. I see the number 6 of Tom Lester currently in the pits. 29 finally rolling now. No fast repair here in Monday Night Mayhem. So if you take this damage, it could be catastrophic and your night. And that right there was a big one. Golly, what do you think? About 10, 11 guys total?
Yeah,
maybe got contact out of that?
At least there, but luckily with these cars, you can kind of fix them. It does take a while, but you can fix them as long as you don't have that broken toe link. It's not, you can kind of fix that wheel damage eventually, but it definitely can be a lot. But if there's just a little bit of aero damage, not too bad. Just kind of get that fixed up, maybe, and you'll be right there, right back out there, good as new. As the model doesn't look too terrible. A little bit of rear end scrapes on that back bumper there, and a little bit of front damage, but he looks pretty okay. But really, the one that I think is definitely going to be done after tonight is Tyler Clunin. He came in there flying, and he definitely destroyed that front car all to pieces. And he's going to be done for the night after that one, no doubt. As that right front was shattered. That right front suspension was completely shattered on that car, so he will be done for the night.
Oh, he had that thing wide open. Tyler, of course, running the 911 car, and it seemed like somebody called 911, and he came through there like a cannonball. I'm not going to give him the nickname Miley Cyrus, but oh my word. Also, lots of other big names in that. Jonathan K. Sabir, 2 laps down. Brandon Guerin, 2 laps down. Kenneth Redinger and Hunter Hall both 1 lap down. So looks like we still got 27 cars on the lead lap, but Wow, very detrimental, and we won't know the true extent of the damage until they get this thing green again and we see who sticks with the pace. Pace car is off. The control car on the outside here looks like Robert Babcock, the Rooster. We'll see how long he waits, and he does not wait. He's rolling fast. Away we go. Look at the lead Babcock got off that rolling restart there. Alex Hillman trying to make chase underneath, and look at the lead the two of them have side by side by side, 10 deep after them.
Yeah, they got to get out a little bit too far. You don't want to get out too far. You can't be a sitting duck. Here comes Duval. He's got a big run. He's going to take it to the outside. Yes, he will, with a massive run. He's got help for the 13 behind him of Tony Iverson. They're going to go both around the outside. They're going to try and get them both clear, but they're going to get some help now as Padilla gets behind Hillman off of turn number 4. But Duval with the run on the high lane. He's clear for the lead. Does he take it into 1? We'll see. He clears down before he even get to the 1. Duval to the point on the inside lane, but Iverson on the outside trying to get to his that corner panel, that 84 machine.
Outside lane, high side hustlers, 3 deep. You got Iverson, Owens, and now Eric Thornton. 3 cars on that outside lane, all 3 of them teammates. Inside lane, Duval. He might as well have a Cougar out there because he's racing for me all by myself. Then there's Rooster, Babcock, and Hillman. Look at that outside, those high side hustlers living up to their name, Aaron.
They're working up nose to tail for those 3 drivers on the outside. They got no help behind, but we got a car around behind him. Multiple cars around. You got another big one. Jordan Fisher hard to the outside wall. Michael Marta getting another piece of that into that one. The 56 goes around there as well. The 11, multiple cars around. Another at least 6 or 7 involved in that one.
Colin Bollinger in that wreck. Joe Volpis, Brandon Guerin. There's the 97 of Rich Swingle. So many big names that we talked about earlier. Kevin Kyle, I think he got a piece of that one as well. And ooh, look at the sparks coming off the back of the 98 of Blair Saunders. Tough series of events. And that 39, he's been the fastest rookie this year, Aaron. This could end his night. Second big accident, and he's been in both.
Yeah, unfortunate there. We'll see if he can fix it, but I don't think that that car is fixable for Blair Saunders there. That sparks on that right front. We'll see. Yeah, that right front's broken, and Blair Saunders is going to be done for the night on that one. That totaling's not going to be repairable. Unfortunate for that 98. He will be done for the night. So all going to try and bring it down pit road. Michael Mata getting another piece of that, but he looked like he wasn't too terrible. Get a little bit more air damage. He's got to try more damage to fix there. But let's take a look at what happened there as that kind of all started up towards the front of the pack. As that started with that kind of a red and white car there. Look at the number. Is it 5 machine? That started with the 5 machine there. He kind of got turned around up in front into turn number 1 here. That 5 machine, we'll see that 39 right behind him. Yeah, he just got into his inside, just didn't know he was there, and that sent multiple around, and a lot of these drivers went around after that one. Dalton Geyer getting right through it on the bottom there. The 23, 11, the 6, just multiple drivers piling in there right after the wreck. But that 39 machine just kind of started right there with that 5 machine run. As you saw, just both of them, Jordan Fisher getting into the inside, just I guess the 5 machine there right in front of him didn't know he was clear.
Yeah, that's such a surprise too when the 39 spun him. Usually the guy that does the pit maneuver gets away clean, but not this time. 39 caught up in that. Pain. So we'll see now. It looks like more guys making their way down there. Fisher, Redinger, Brower, Finley Hall, all a lap down. Now, seeing what's going to happen is we are looking at that replay of that wreck again. Oh.
They're getting a better look of it this time. We'll see is down in the 1, he had the inside and just got into him, and that sent them both around, and a few others got tagged. The 97 got tagged there, but Jordan Fisher hard in the outside wall there. Michael Marta got tagged in it, trying to get hard on the brakes into the spinning around. A few others just kind of plowing on into there. The 11, and Joseph Volpis getting tagged as they all just kind of checked up, and it's just an accordion and sends a lot of them around. But all these drivers now down for repairs, but out front, Iverson, I believe, they're taking the one to go signal this time by. So these drivers going to get off pit road quickly, fixing those damage.
Looked like Dalton Geyer got really lucky in there. He had a car kind of rub him, the 39, but he continued to go straight under the apron. So if there was a biggest winner, I would definitely have to look at Dalton Geyer there as he somehow made his way through all of that hot mess. That, of course, being the number 36 DDI driver. You're looking at John Beverly in that 01 right now. Part of that accident. It looks like it's going straight, Aaron.
It looks maybe just slightly askew, but it looks pretty good from there. So that maybe a little bit of see a little scrape on that left front of that race car, but it looks pretty much brand new. Other than that, you should be all right to be able to get that going. But like you said, Dalton Geyer was at 36 machine. He kind of dived. He kind of saw it in some of those replays. He dived straight on the apron, got right out of there, and he's gonna line back up in 10th here. So got pretty lucky there. Actually, he did come down pit road and top it off on fuel. So he is starting back in 10th. But if he did not pit, he'd be right up there with in that top 5 with Hillman and Duval. But he decided to come down, top it off on fuel. These drivers gonna have about just over 100 laps to go here. So we're still gonna see a 2-stop race here on out. So, but that a little bit extra fuel can help you go a long way.
And if anything else, it'll quicken your pit stop later when you're coming in to fill up the tank. Oh, a little back up there. You can see Hillman hit the brakes there on Sean Walton, forced him back. And hey, look at this surprise. Third car on the outside row, that number 43 is Zach Clausen. We got rookies up in the front, Aaron. Oh, boy.
Zach Clausen, if you saw him yesterday in the Bonfire Premier Cup Series, he was up front trying to make that outside lane work as well. But now he's showing that outside lane, working up to the front now, but we're back underway. And that outside lane already back to work. The inside, non-existent. Jack Duval, the only driver down there. Hillman's the next closest as he's trying to catch that, get to the back bumper of Jack Duval. But the outside, 3, 4, almost 4 cars clear into 3. They're going to stand in the top lane, but now 4 cars clear. Clausen just not clear enough, but now Thornton clear, Owens clear, Iverson clear. Now Duval can just hold to the bottom. Can he get to the inside of Thornton? He will. They'll get side by side for third, but the top 2, Iverson and Owens, still clear for the lead.
And finally started working with the third car of Sean Walton and the fourth car on the bottom. Hillman finally tightened that draft up. Outside lane, though, high side hustlers, Iverson, Owens, and Thornton. And Jose Medina, he's in that pink 54, slams it down behind Hillman. Can't make up his mind. But you're right, that outside lane, especially now with the 43 of Clausen, he had all Sunday to practice going fast on the outside.
Yeah, got that outside lane working. The inside lane just not right now, just not linked up together. Got a few cars now that it's getting a little bit closing those gaps a little bit. They were just a little bit too far spread out compared to the outside, and we're not able to get that inside lane rolling. But now they're starting to get working now as Medina's getting to the back bumper of Hillman, and that's shoving Hillman up to the ball. Now that inside lane knows the tail now. They're getting ready to go. They're trying to get that inside lane moving and get some momentum forward. They're going to get to the inside of Thornton from the outside lane, and that inside lane is starting to move up now. But now they start to check up a little bit as the gap is starting to widen back out. But that outside lane working well. They're nose to tail, not leaving each other's bumper.
And now the fifth car on that outside lane behind Clausen. Inside lane has got to get it together. Duval screaming over the radio at his teammates. Let's go faster, push me to the lead. But they can't do it right now, facing the speed of the high side hustlers. Tony Iverson, this guy had to watch Colin Bollinger win the season finale last year. Had to watch Colin win at Charlotte. But it's his time now with his teammate David Owens pushing him. Today might be the day for the number 13.
Looking strong out in front right now with his teammate behind him, and so far they're controlling that outside lane. Really with that, we saw the new updates to this next gen car here on the service back in June, and it kind of changed that super speedway package up a little bit. The bottom has been dominant since, but they're making that outside lane work, pushing well together, and no, the inside, nothing for them right now. They're all working together perfectly on that outside lane, and they're staying up there. Iverson and Owens still clear of the Thornton now. Still in the outside lane with Duval pushing on the inside, but the inside lane just struggling to get moving. They're going to try and get to the inside of Owens here off of turn number 2. We'll see if it has enough.
Duval, definitely the kind of guy willing to take those risks and push his way up to the front. All he needs is a wing and a prayer, and he'll get up into that land of unbridled optimism, but not yet. Tony Iverson's still doing it. Side by side with Owens, Duval is, though. If he could get a little help from Hillman, he might get side by side with Iverson. Ducks it down on the apron. It's so close.
He's going to get to the inside with a shorter distance through 1 and 2. He's going to stand on the bottom. He's got Hillman. That inside lane starting to work a little bit better now. The outside a little bit strung out. They maybe get a little bit temps up there, but we got a lap machine in the way here. Redinger going to go to the high lane. It's going to stay up top, and that's going to force him 3 wide for them, and that's going to hurt that outside lane just a little bit. But Thornton going to go sideways. It's going to send another car around through the grass. The 23.
That's Sean Walton.
Sean Walton through the grass. He's going to keep it off of pit road, but no caution as he's in the grass there. But he ended up going around. Let's take a quick look at what happened there. As Thornton looked like he had to dive low quickly under Redinger, and that ended up losing the back end. As I mentioned early on the top of the show, tire definitely going to be a factor, and I think that's what we saw there. The rear tire is just a little bit overheated, and he slid around, and just Sean Walton, nowhere to go, just gets tagged and goes through the grass all by himself.
Sean Walton had a hell of a run right there. I imagine Thornton's spotter probably told him that he was clear low, but that was not the case. You could see the 23 Toyota coming into the picture, contact made, Walton into the grass, keeps it rolling, no caution, but he's going to need a little bit of luck if he wants to overcome that bit of adversity. Meanwhile, up front, inside lane took full advantage of the lap driver of Redinger. Now it's Duval in control, Hillman behind him, Medina side by side with the 13 of Iverson in that third row. Outside lane, though, still high side hustlers. Iverson, Owens, Eric Thornton.
Yeah, Clausen hot down to the bottom of that, convert that outside lane just a little bit more. Now they only have 3 cars, and they're starting to fall back a little bit. Lamato's going to hop up just to the tail end of the field, tail end of that pack there. He's going to try and bridge his way up to that back bumper of Eric Thornton on the outside lane, but they're starting to fall back a little bit. Clausen's almost cleared them now. They're going to try to leapfrog out in front of him, but outside lane just losing that momentum now. The inside lane a little bit spread out here. They might have some opportunity to get their way down, but so far everyone on the inside just kind of settling in now, getting some laps ticked off here.
Yeah, I was about to mention that, Aaron. We've had a lot of laps run here recently. Not enough for the tires to have a big fall off, but definitely enough to alter the way that you're going to run that top lane. What do you think? You think these boys are starting to get a little bit wary of that top?
Yeah, for sure. We saw Thornton almost lose it already. He got into Sean Walton, so that outside lane definitely getting a little bit more squirrely up on that top lane. So these drivers on the bottom just kind of taking their time a little bit. They're going to have to get a little bit more throttle control of that outside lane as Thornton actually got to the inside of Owens. I think Owens kind of got sliding a little bit on corner entry, and especially with the kind of air on this next gen. Get on that back bumper can really get those drivers loose out in front of you. They could loosen them up a little bit more. So that's also going to hurt them as Iverson's going to try and slot back in line or get ready to go kind of single file here as that outside lane getting kind of more and more treacherous lap by lap.
Well, and it looks like we've got, 13 cars in this lead lap, making it, 13 cars plus a couple of lap guys still in this lead pack. And then there's a big breakaway after that. You can see Steve Lewis, Joe Volpis, 7 seconds behind. They've only got Lester with them, so much smaller group back there as those 4 fellas have fallen off the pace, and they are trying to at least stay close enough so maybe a caution they can repair. Those cars are not healthy.
Yeah, the second pack just kind of unlucky, not getting a good lane through those wrecks, and also just not getting a great restart, and it kind of already slid back a little bit, 7.7 seconds. 4 cars, if they're working well together, you can kind of be better than a little bit of a main pack, but right now they're still a little bit slower last time by. 30.195 for Steve Lewis and Kevin Conway, and 30.266 as he's the tail end of that lead pack. So they were about a 10th faster than the lead pack last time by, but that's still, they're going to need a lot more than 10 per lap to catch back up to that main pack. They're really far back, but only about 4 cars. It's definitely going to be a hard catch to get back there.
Might be wondering what happened to Sean Walton after that accident. Well, he's getting the leaders, about to eat him up. It's time for Pac-Man, and he just turned into the ghost, and there goes Duval on the outside. He's got Hillman, but this inside lane is going to get dicey and spicy with Walton down there on that apron.
Yeah, but Iverson, Owens, and Thornton, the high slide hustlers, were working up there. But now these drivers had to go around the outside of Walton on the for the lap machine, and that's going to give that extra power to the outside. So now they're cycling back up to the front, and Medina stays up to the top lane. So now Iverson's going to push Medina forward, and they're going to get to the outside of Clausen, but not too far. But Walton, he slots in line third there. So now a little bit of buffer, the top 2 clear, and they got a lap machine buffer between the rest of the field.
Well, if you believe the song, Zach Clausen should have no problem going around the outside, but he is struggling there behind Sean Walton. Now it's 2 wide behind. You can see Medina has slowed. I think that car of Walton has no problems. Would not be surprised if he continues to run with the leaders here with no detriment to the speeds.
Yeah, only went for a little spin through the grass, able to get back going, get back rolling, and now he's one lap down in the free pass spot if we do get a caution. So he just kind of has to stay clean. If he just stays out of the wreck, If we get a caution, he'll be back on that lead lap, and just Brandon new. He'll have to work his way back up through the field, though. But that outside lane is starting to fall back a little bit as the outside lane is just getting more treacherous. You see Medina the past few laps, he's getting really slidey through the entry of the corner. And you also see kind of on the bottom there of that 2 machine or Babcock also kind of losing the nose a little bit on the corner entry, just kind of fishtailing all over the place, and that's how treacherous it gets here in Atlanta, especially later into this run. We're starting to see the heat of the tires starting to get really hot, and it kind of helps them a little bit. It senses it a little bit of nighttime, but it's definitely these drivers going to be slipping and sliding around, just searching and begging for grip.
I'm wondering, all the high side hustlers have faded back just a little bit. They're still in that lead group. I'm wondering if they're looking at the tires and already starting to play games about how far they can push this without losing the group as far as a tire run, a fuel run, or even a tire strategy. Inside lane now booking. Duval just got that thing to the floor. Alex Hillman, the DDI driver behind him. Walton, he's a lap car in that 23. And then Zach Clausen now into the top 3. What a run by the rookie.
And Zach Clausen working his way up through the field, up to 3rd. He's looking strong right now, just kind of relaxing right behind Sean Walton, just taking his time as an outside lane, just desperately trying to move forward. Still able to not do much for right now, but as you mentioned, those tire, I mean, the smaller pack of about 4 or 5 cars, to get them drafting well, you kind of short pit the field and maybe get out in front. Now, that really works well at Daytona Talladega because you don't really lose a lap, but with the risk of short pitting the rest of the field here, especially at Atlanta, 1.5 miles, you lose a lap and a half when you go down pit road. So these drivers, they can try and pit a little bit early. We're getting about 80 laps to go and a few more laps here. So the fuel window is open. They can pit now and pit one more time. Everyone still has to make 2 more green flag, 2 more stops, at least on fuel to the end of this race. So they could try and maybe play a different strategy, and maybe all 4 of them veer off together, and they can try to shortcut the field, undercut the field through pit stops.
Well, and we don't have a caution for the halfway point, but points are awarded to the top 5 drivers. So if I'm one of those top 5 drivers, I might be thinking about it. But for the rest of these boys, absolutely. I'm counting backwards from 120, trying to figure out exactly my best strategy to make that work. I'm looking at that group of 4 that you were talking about. They are buried. Steve Lewis, he does not have damage on that car. Right behind him, Justin Parham, the MC Motorsport driver, or the Venom Motorsport driver. Joe Vulpes as well, little bit of front end damage, but you can see slowly losing Tom Lester. Lester, the most damage of those 4. Those 4 got to get back together if they want to stay close.
Working back together, Lester's going to try and get back up to that 11 machine of Joel Vulpes there right in front of him. But yeah, those drivers, they can try and maybe play a shortcut strategy, undercut strategy as well. They're about 8.5 seconds back, so they have been losing time, but it's not too drastic. They're only losing maybe about a 10th or 2 here every so lap, so they're not losing too far back. But yeah, they definitely can play a different strategy, especially with tires. You can try and undercut here and take some fresh tires, and that could make you a little bit quicker compared to the rest of the field, especially the field's kind of battling. But right now everyone's single file, so they're going as fast as they possibly can pretty much. But if they get battling maybe late, getting ready for, especially for that around that halfway point, some extra points on the table, these drivers up front can get a little dicey, and you can pit and maybe try and gain a little bit of time undercutting them, and by the time everyone pits, you can maybe gain that time back. So we'll see how aggressive these drivers will get for those extra stage points around that halfway point. But we'll see. But so far, we've still got about 17 laps to go to then. So far, everyone's single file, just getting some laps ticked off. A few kind of slicing moves in the back there as Mata's kind of up the racetrack a little bit. Thornton and Owens in that 56 machine on the inside trying to follow their way through as he'll slide on back. But so far, everyone pretty much nice and calm up front for now.
Jose Medina in that 56, getting faster every race. Meanwhile, a little bit of paperwork for the salvage yard. Looks like we've had a few guys park it. Tyler Clunan, as you mentioned, in the 911 has parked it. The 73 of K. Sabir, the 57 of Guerin. Kevin Brower in the 9 has parked it. Blair Saunders in the 98 calling it a day. Jordan Fisher, Rich Swingle, and the number 5 as well. All of them calling it a day, putting it in the garage. They're wearing Daisy Dukes, bringing their dad, waiting for you at the trailer.
Yeah, those drivers, unfortunately, just getting caught up in those 2 big incidents we saw already, and they're packed it up for the night. Can't continue anymore. Just too much damage, and they're gonna have to pack it up next week at Darlington. So come back next week at Darlington. So Darlington definitely gonna be a fun race next week, especially coming off a super speedway here and going straight to that egg-shaped oval next week at Darlington. Definitely kind of two different types of racetracks, and you're gonna drive them a lot differently.
Yeah, those tracks much more interesting for the veteran drivers. This is wide open. Keep it close. Don't wreck.
Oh, here comes that pit stop.
Here we go.
Here comes those pit stops. Jax Duvall down pit road. Alex Hillman and a few others come down. Babcock, Clausen comes down as well. But mentioned these drivers, they did not pit under those cautions, so they're running out of fuel right now. So that means these guys are going to have to take fuel, take tires now. The thing is, they got a little bit separated as Clausen took it a lot more conservative compared to Duvall and Hillman on the pit entry. But yeah, those drivers did not pit at all. And Jax Duvall, speeding penalty on pit road.
Oh, the Florida man. You can drive fast on the Florida Turnpike, but you can't do it here in the pits of Echo Park. The number 84, they got him.
And that's really going to hurt Hillman and Clausen, because now they're only going to be two cars, and that's not going to be quicker at all. So Duvall, he's going to have to wait for his penalty. Not sure, I believe it was speeding, but he could also kind of overstep that line a little bit, because that if you go over that white line, as you see these drivers pass it here into turn 3, you go over that white line on pit entry, it's an instant penalty, and you have to serve that as well, because unsafe pit entrance. So these drivers have to be careful for that, but also with those drivers pitting, that helps Sean Walton, as now he leads the field. So he's already on the lead lap, but he's just leading that main pack right now. So if he gets a caution, he doesn't have to worry about the free pass. He's leading the field already. He can just catch up to the tail end.
Yep, and he's going to get the points for leading a lap. Got to be thrilled about that. And this is exactly what we talked about, the incident involving the 84 Florida man of Jax Duvall. The strategy in the pits. Anybody can turn left and go fast, but can you make it work in the pit? And you mentioned it, going in early. That is a really tough configuration for a lot of guys, and it seems like he got caught up in that moment. Up front, though, look at who's the fastest, though. Sean Walton, the lap driver. He's not lapped anymore, Aaron. Check him out.
Yeah, he got his lap back the hard way. He's got Babcock right behind him, Bollinger right behind him, and Bolander in third there as they cycled up to the front after those pit stops happened. The 24 machine trying to work his way up a little bit. You got the 29 as well, Kevin Kyle. You also got the 26 up there as well. Now that outside lane is starting to form up a little bit more, but a little bit of gap happening now as that lap car. Oh, we got a car up into the wall. That 26 hits the outside wall there. He'll fall back a little bit. He might lose the track. You gotta be careful for that one.
Oh, Hunter Hall, he disbelieved in walls, but my friend, we're not in the Matrix. The wall is real. Up front, interesting also, little storyline. Look at the 53 and the 24 working together. Those two guys are on the same team, and they won the last two races. Bollinger winning the opener, Andrew Bolander winning last week. So two fast guys, teammates, finally together here on the super speedway configuration of Echo Park.
Yeah, they can work together and maybe go around Babcock there at that last possible moment, get some extra points on their tally. And also, we're getting around 8 laps to that halfway point, and we'll get payoffs to the top 5 in points there. And then also, that mentioned those drivers who just pit a few laps ago, they stayed out. But all these drivers out there now, they pitted on those last few cautions, able to make it to the halfway point and pick up an extra few points. So those can work out as well. But we'll keep an eye on Zach Clausen. As Zach Clausen, he's right in front of Jackson Ball here. So they're both together. They're actually about to go second lap down. So they're losing a lot of time. Only 2 drivers together, and that's not going to be good enough.
Yeah, it seems like the number is 4 or 5. You need 4 or 5 cars if you don't want to fade too much. We saw that with that Joe Volpus group, and now we're seeing here only 2 with Duvall and Clausen, and they're about to get 8 up. Speaking of get 8 up, I am so surprised that the Rooster Babcock has lived this long. Walton is also a teammate of Bollinger and Bolander, and so I would not be surprised to see those guys talking on the radio, figuring out how to dump the Rooster coming into this little sequence up onto lap 60.
And especially, and here is some off the turn 4 Walton tried to go to the outside of Clausen there, but they kind of just picked up Duval and Clausen for now. But as you said, yeah, they can easily go around the outside. Walton can hop up, and then Bolander and Bollinger, they can just hop up around him. They can kind of go right around Babcock at that last possible moment. But meanwhile, they picked up those lap cars, and those top four, they pulled away from the rest. As Jose Medina, he's can lose the touch a little bit as that second pack that main pack now splitting into two. As now Medina leads the second pack. He's about a second back for the top four.
Yeah, Medina needs to get that group in a single file, though. It needs to whip them into order. You could see Kenneth Rediger in the 909 on that outside, needs to fall into line behind the 115 of Alves there and get that pack moving. Front pack, though, they seem content to let Jax Duval lead them around and just put down more laps right now.
Yeah, they're letting them burn that fuel up in front, and they can save a little bit of fuel, lift a little bit more, and save a little bit of fuel, go a little bit longer. Especially Duval and Clausen, they both pitted, but that risk of pitting, getting a penalty, you don't want to overstep it, but also risk of short pitting. If you get a caution at the wrong time, then you're going to be trapped a lap or two down. So you don't want to be that either. So that's why Atlanta, you got to really play it. There's a kind of a different range of strategies, and you really want to risk it to pit. As here comes Walton, he'll come down pit road, not enough fuel, he'll have to come down by himself, so no help for Walton. So hopefully he needs to hope he'll get a caution, but he goes back one down again. But Babcock now still the race leader, but he's still got Clausen and Duval, the lap machines right in front of him.
Yeah, those are the two guys he's got to hook up with, because behind him, other teammates would love to just rotate him out and eat up those spots. Second group looks like they're finally working it together. Wonder what's going to happen, though, to that middle car if he's burping it on purpose. I'll have to check and see whose teammate he is. That's Kevin Kyle. I wonder if he's trying to close the gap or burp. It looks like he's catching back up, but that little gap that he just created might have been enough to pull Medina and company back in.
Yeah, he pulled him down to about a second, but now he's been pulled back in by Bolander, and now the gap is about to back up to about 1.4 seconds. As right now, these top four are just getting towed along by Duval and Clausen, but meanwhile, up in front of them, not too far, you got a smaller pack of David Owens and that second pack that are really off the pack with Iverson, Thornton, and Hillman. They pitted earlier, and they all pitted, and now they're right in front of them. They're about a lap and 3/4 back, but they're a little bit farther back. They're actually in danger of getting lapped not too far. They're still holding on for now, but they're about a lap behind. They're about a lap and 3/4 behind these main leaders as they all pitted earlier. But here they come this time by. We're on the halfway mark here at lap 60. Is Babcock, does he have any challengers? Bollinger and Bolander here off turn 4. But I think Babcock right now, no challengers yet, and I think he's going to take those max bonus points possible here at the halfway point.
Yep, number 2 of Rooster right there, gonna take it. Got to be excited as he's got Colin Bollinger, the 24 of Andrew Bolander, behind him, and he is going to get those points. Kevin Kyle going to get 4th, and Jose Medina, second place starter, going to get that 1 point for finishing in 5th. Great first stage right there, Aaron. Hard racing here tonight at Echo Park.
Yeah, it's definitely been a hard race. We saw multiple wrecks already, but now they're kind of calming down. But also keep in mind, these top 4, they separated from the rest, but this time by 45 laps on this stent for these top 4. They can't make it much more longer. Probably about 5 more laps is the max. Don't be surprised when they pull off here in the next couple laps and come down pit road. We'll see how much longer they go, as they really can only go 46 is probably what we originally kind of the max save we saw, but we also added a few caution laps, so they've been able to extend it just a little bit longer. But these drivers got to come down pit road soon, but we have a caution out of the racetrack.
Oh, the caution!
Joe Vulpes losing spots. We're not trying to find out who it was. Let's take a look at Vulpes here. He was just coming off pit road. Trying to find who that was. Maybe the 36 here, Dalton Geyer, looks a little slow. Coming on the pit entry, and that's what it was. Oh, Dalton Geyer in the 115. The 115 losing on the brakes and spun it onto the racetrack for Dalton Geyer, and that brings up the caution. And that was another thing. Pitting early, pitting with a group can be dangerous and could cause a caution, and it did. Dalton Geyer going around there on pit entry with that 115 of Lucas Alves. So yeah, both of those drivers going around, and that's going to shake up the strategy all over the place, because now David Owens, Iverson, and Clausen, all those guys, they're trapped one lap down. They're going to have to take the wave around.
Yeah, really unfortunate series of events. And you know what, Aaron? I looked into the Discord. Do you know who Babcock is in Discord with?
I'm assuming it's
Sean Walton, Bolander, and Bollinger.
Yeah, so they're all working together up there in front, and they were able to pull away. They were working great up there. They pulled away from the rest of the field. This caution definitely going to hurt them, though, because now they got to deal with the rest of the field once again.
Yep, so early story, high side hustlers, Iverson, Owens, and Thornton. Here in the middle, we suddenly see the speed of, I don't even know what we're going to call those four boys. They changed their names so much. Mo Power, DEI, Bollinger, and Bolander. And now with this caution, we're going to see cars forced to do the wave around, and they put a lot of laps on those tires. You know, you talked about tires earlier, Aaron. Suddenly, they have to stay out, pray that cautions breed cautions, so that they can come in again and get tires on the second restart, but forced to stay out to get that wave around. Third caution of the night here comes on lap number 64.
As you see the big lane of cars as the lucky dog, the free pass, it looks like it'll go to Tom Lester. Actually, no, as he's going around that outside there. We do have a free pass there. I believe it is Matt Novella. He's down pit road. Not sure who got the free pass, but there's only about eight or so cars on lead lap when that happens. So we have a lot of drivers back on the lead lap. I believe actually it was Nat Novella that got the free pass. So Dalton Geyer involved in an incident. He had to come down pit road. But Tom Lester looks like he will be leading the lap down cars. They'll get the lead, lap back.
Ooh,
so we have at least 8 cars getting their lap back here.
Yeah, and all those guys are going to have a little bit older tires and a little bit less fuel. So that ought to be interesting if this thing continues to go green for another 25, 35 laps to see exactly how that's going to affect them. Tell you what, Joe Volpus, though, got to be happy. Remember, he got caught up in a couple of early accidents, mostly repaired that car. Now he just needs a little luck to get track position back.
Yeah, we'll see. They're definitely going to work their way up. They last pitted 17 laps ago for Alex Hillman. So 17 laps, they can probably go about 30 more on that tank of fuel. So that means they can go about to lap 90. So they could still make it on a one stop here, but they'll just have to pit a little bit earlier. So if they pit earlier again, they just have to hope the entire field cycles. But this shouldn't be too bad. The thing is that tire wear is going to be a little bit tougher to work their way up through the field. But they can definitely still kind of play around with this strategy. They just got their lap back, but they're still okay. Everyone can still make it on a one stop from here on out. So we'll see how that plays out. They could pit a little bit earlier to try and jump the field. We had a wide open strategy now here, but we're getting ready to go back green. Babcock, Bolander, Kevin Kyle, and Jose Medina and Colin Bollinger will be ready to be your top 5 here for this restart.
They got to be thrilled back up there. 4 of those guys all in Discord with each other in communication. Babcock is going to be your lead car on the inside. Away we go. It's Babcock with a quick jump. The 24 on the outside of Bolander with him. Here comes Bollinger and then Bolander and finally Jose Medina to get away from that Mo Power team.
And Medina all by himself left out to dry on that outside lane there, and he's going to need desperate help as everyone's on the bottom just leaving him out to dry. The 24 of Bolander, he'll come up to the top lane. He's going to go try and take that race lead away from Babcock into turn number 3. Babcock a little bit on the apron there, but now they got 2 cars on the outside, and Bolander, he'll slot down. He'll take the race lead away, but Medina back all by himself on the outside.
Well, it's the 24's turn to take the lap, right? I mean, the other guys have led a lap. Why not have the 24 lead a lap? And everybody, it'll be the 53 of Bollinger up there in a little bit. Oh, he went a little high. Look at him off the pace. That's that 53 car. Very surprising to see the Dr. Pepper 53 Toyota take it up high like that.
He's got help from that 26 just a little bit behind him, as that is the 26 of Hunter Hall. He was the fastest in practice. He is 2 laps down, getting caught up in those incidents earlier as he's all by himself. But that 53 Colin Bollinger, he'll slot in line. But now we're back to single file through the main pack, through the entire main pack. It looks like the majority of the field, pretty much everyone's still together here. We have a mix of lap cars in the middle of it, along with a mix of lead lap cars. We have 15 cars in lead lap, and Dalton Geyer's all the way at the tail end. Actually, he's out of the lane pack. But David Owens is at the tail end of the main pack here in 15 and 14. We have a few drivers, mini lap cars kind of sprinkled in this pack here. As Bollinger, he's back in 6th, but he's got at least 3 or 4 lap cars between him and the rest of the race leaders.
Yeah, a lot of cars just caught up in that early incident. 2 cautions have given them the opportunity to get that repair done so that they can run in a pack, especially if they're not leading or the tail end. They can kind of hide in there. Single file right now. Looks like these guys are content, want to put down some laps and just get around this track more and more. Going to lap number 120 here tonight, live on the Vortex Racing Network. Aaron Brown, Mean Gene Money, bringing you all the action here tonight from Echo Park.
It's definitely been a fun one so far. We saw a few incidents early on, and now we kind of been calm a little bit. These drivers getting still antsy, getting ready, but we're getting down to the final 50 laps here from Atlanta or Echo Park Speedway, and these drivers, this aggression is going to ramp up closer and closer we get to the finish, and we still got 1 green flag pit stop left in this race, so that dealt a lot of strategy also allowed the play involved. But meanwhile, that outside lane starting to move a little bit forward with Jax Duvall. He's the lap machine, but he's got Sean Walton up in front of him, and Aaron Ford on the outside right behind him with Hillman. They're getting that outside lane moving now.
Outside lane finally showing signs of life. They were something special at the beginning, and then they faded back. You can see 7 cars in that inside lane until the outside lane finally starts moving. And look at Sean Walton taking it around the outside. Great momentum. And Matt Novella comes up, and then he gets a little tap of side draft behind him. Wow, little action there.
Yeah, getting action, but meanwhile, keep in mind, these drivers on the outside, they have a little bit older tires because they kind of caught a bad caution there. So they had to take the wave around. So they're trying to work their way up, but it's definitely going to be a little bit harder. They get less grip entering the corner, but Walton's leading with Duvall behind him. They're both lap machines trying to get another lap back. They're both 1 lap down, but that one machine of Eric Thornton, he's on the lead lap trying to get up to the race lead, so he's working well up there, but he kind of lost his teammates as Hillman fell back as Volpus is behind him. But a little bit of contact. Walton's going to make contact. He's going around in turn number 1.
Made contact with Parham. We saw earlier Parham touched Walton, took away his momentum, and now full contact there. Walton looks like he's going to get away, but lots of damage back there. The rookie Clausen. Oh, I can hear the F-bombs coming off the radio of the 43 right there. Look, Joe Volpus again caught up, still doing donuts. You didn't win, dude. Quit doing donuts. Got to get that thing rolling.
Oh, and Hillman's done for the night. He's towed it. So unfortunate for Alex Hillman. Was very strong. He got contact there hard at the outside wall. Volpus, big hit as well. Multiple drivers involved there. Multiple hard hitters we've seen up front. David Owens barely getting around there, but a really big wreck there once again, entering in turn 1 and 2. That seems to be the trouble spot. That's where we've seen both our big wrecks tonight. They're right into the middle of turn 1 and 2. Kind of similar accidents there. Let's take a look at how this started with Sean Walton up in front. He was middle of 3 wide there through 1 and 2. He had that 56 up in front of him, Matt Novella, and he had that 18 lap machine on the bottom. I believe that was Alex. That was not Alex Hillman, but he had that 08 on the bottom. Coming off at turn number 4, Duvall got to the outside and took him 3 wide, and they had Novella right there in the middle. They made a little bit of contact, ran out of real estate into turn number 1 here, trying to slide in line. Yeah, Walton looked like he tried to slide in line. A few drivers tagging along. Hillman, Volpus getting a piece of that. And big hits for those. And those drivers going to be done. Clausen getting a piece of that as well.
Yeah, it looked like Walton just got a little aggressive. I'm not sure if he came down into Parham, but that was the contact. He had that with that 18 chrome and blue 18 of Parham. Really unfortunate sequence of events.
Let's go on board with Zach Paulson into this wreck here. He sees the wreck happen right in front of him, nowhere to go. Gets on the apron and yeah, just right in the cars right in the front of him, just nowhere to go there. And unfortunate, and he's got a little bit of damage. He looked not too bad compared to the others. Not many too hard hits, a little bit of front end damage, but I think he's okay. He can keep that rolling, get that repaired. I think Zach Clausen might be okay compared to the rest of those guys.
Yeah, rookie Zach Clausen running up front all this race, getting it down. You can hear the Sawzall, the hammers, and the duct tape hard at work down there in the pit stall. Meanwhile, up front, look at this now. Lap drivers being shown in the front. Jose Medina, actually your leader. He's in the 54 pink and white Toyota. And then Kevin Kyle up front. I guess he's waiting for a wave around, huh?
No, Kevin Kyle's our race leader right now, but so he got up there.
Oh, he did.
So we did. So I believe during that, while we were looking at that replay, we had a few drivers come down pit road. Bollinger, he stayed out, but Babcock, Bolander actually cycled. They got cycled back right at the tail end of that. As we were focused on the outside lane, Kevin Kyle moved up to the front. So those drivers just came to. Everyone came down pit road, but Kevin Kyle with a really good pit stop, only 5.9 seconds in his stall. So really good pit stop for Kevin Kyle and Jose Medina. Everyone coming down and topping off on fuel, taking. And a few drivers taking tires. Eric Thornton, Tom Lester, they took tires. But everyone in this top 7 here have they have taken fuel only and cycled up to the front.
Oh, you know it's going to get crazy when you do that kind of foolishness. So what, Thornton is your first guy with fresh tires?
Yeah, Thornton first tire with fresh tires, and he had a little bit of damage repair as well, as he was 19.8 in his stall there. Let's take a look at kind of the pit stop comparison between our race leader and Eric Thornton. So Eric Thornton there, first driver on tires, and our Kevin Kyle, our race leader. So you see on the the ticker there right at the bottom of your screen, you'll see the pit box, 5.6 seconds for Kevin Kyle, 19.8 for Eric Thornton. So Eric Thornton taking a little bit of damage and taking 4 tires. So that tells you the difference. Nearly about 10-second difference if you only need no tires. But we'll see how well Eric Thornton, how well he can work his way up through the field with those fresh tires.
Yeah, that dirty air often can be an issue for fellas trying to break through, but this draft speed seems to overcome that relatively quickly. Kevin Kyle on the inside. He is your control car. Going to bring it into the Geico restart zone. Taking an eye on the 29. Got the 24 behind him. Away we go. Great jump by the 29 Machina Kyle. That's going to bring the 24 side by side with Medina for second. And away goes the 24. Medina fading back. Got no help from the 53. Falls in the line. Single file. Top 5 cars.
Bollinger on the outside. He's got help from Thornton on those fresh tires, so we'll see how well that outside lane gets moving. But everyone slots out of the bottom quickly. But Babcock, he's going to come up from the outside, going to try and give some help to his teammate on that outside lane with Bollinger. Yeah, as they're working together tonight in that Discord call, so we'll see if that outside lane can get a little bit moving. The high side hustlers back up front with David Owens and Eric Thornton. They can work together as well. But here comes that outside lane. Bolander goes to the outside. He's got his teammates behind him of the night, and they're gonna go around the outside lane, try and get around Kevin Kyle.
It's on the outside. Then they've got the Babcock as well. Inside lane, though, looks a whole lot more organized. Happy to see the 43 back there, Clausen. That car seems to be back in one piece, making it competitive. Great racing here. Lap number 78, live from Echo Park Speed.
These drivers getting antsy as we're getting into those final kind of laps of this race. But also, meanwhile, with that caution, we're about 45 laps on fuel. So these drivers, if they stay out in front the whole time, they're going to be burning a lot more fuel. They might not be able to make it. So there could be a little bit of fuel mileage at the tail end of this race. So these drivers got to be careful. They can't be mindful. They got to be a little bit mindful on their fuel. They can't go full throttle. They got to save a little bit, kind of back it off for first couple laps and save that little bit extra fuel as this time by will be coming to 40 laps to go. And these drivers pitted 5 laps to go, so they're going to be right on that tail. They're going to be right on that fuel number. Oh, we have a caution on the racetrack. Zach Clausen goes around on the back straightaway.
Who did it?
Let's take a look at what happened here. We got the 115. So coming on the front straightaway, they made a little bit of contact, but this happens off of turn number 2. Joe Volpis, he's going to the back, going a lap down here. I see this happen with Clausen off of turn number 4. He's got Redinger right behind him, David Owens right in front of him. Oh, he just looks like he slid up a little bit.
Got him.
Slid up a little bit, and Redinger got to his inside and just turned him around, and that brung out the caution once again. But now with 4 to go, as I just mentioned the fuel, now that allows them to save a little bit more fuel in the caution, so they should be all A-okay. But if we do get overtime, that could also be a problem as well.
All right, Zach Clausen still got that thing rolling. You know he ain't happy, though. Lead lap driver, Redinger behind him is a lap down. But, you know, Redinger's also fighting for that lucky dog position. You can't expect the guy just to roll over. Those two cars just kind of came together, Redinger hugging the apron. Clausen probably thought he was on that apron, but no, there was a little window, little sliver of light, and you could see the 909 just shoot in there. 43 is bringing it down into the pits. We'll see what kind of damage is on that machine as he brings her in.
Yeah, he took a very hard hit to that rear end of that race car, so that rear diffuser could be bent up a little bit. That rear downforce is definitely going to be kind of all gone out of that race car, so he's got to get as much of that as he can fixed. But the front of the race car looks pretty okay, but we'll see how bad that damage is. The spoiler looks okay, but that back bumper looking like it's fixed up a little bit now. But he can kind of fix that damage. It should be all right. Doesn't look too bad. I don't think he got any wheel damage there, so he can kind of fix that aero and get back out there.
Look like the 88 of Steve Lewis also a lap down coming out of the pits. So Lewis going to top off. Fuel will not be an issue, I would think, for the 88 of Lewis. So taking that opportunity right there to just top it off. Hey, if you're in the back, why not, right? Get a little extra fuel.
Yeah, for sure. He's also got battling 4 other guys for that lead lucky dog spot, so he can also get a little bit of extra advantage on that as well. Maybe if some of those drivers took a little bit of tires, had a little bit of damage to repair, maybe top it off on fuel, maybe get a little bit of extra downforce in that race car. With a little bit, kind of get that rear end of the race car a little bit lower, that could help as well. So we'll see how that works out. Right now, Lucas Alves in that 115. He is the free pass spot right now. This is the first car 1 lap down. They have 13 drivers on the lead lap. Dalton Geyer, the last driver on the lead lap right now, sitting in pit road getting a little bit of damage repaired. So still have a 13 cars on the lead lap, but we still got 5 ready to get going. If they get enough cautions, they get back on that lead lap.
Yep, business is picking up down in the pits. You can see a lot of those cars still needing repairs. I saw Joe Volpus there. He's a lap down at the end right before that caution. His car was just going high, tapping the wall with that number 11 Lowe's. So, you know, he's real happy as well to have this opportunity to get a little bit more repair. And there's Tony Iverson out there as well, number 13. That guy's so fast at the beginning of the race, now being shown 13 laps down. But he's out there fighting for his team.
Yeah, trying to get some extra points, just helping his teammates out as well, just pushing each other. Maybe that could be very important. If he's up there up front with his teammates or at the final point of that race, you can give him that winning shove across the line. That could make a big difference. So just having an extra car out there with the team can help big time, especially if that car doesn't look too badly damaged. He got all that damage repaired, but unfortunately 13 laps down, so he's gonna be a miracle if he wants to get this back, get all those laps back. I don't think he really can. He's gonna be 13 cautions, so we're gonna run out of laps by then.
That would be so many wrecks. we would definitely need some Red Bull up here in the booth if they're going to have that many wrecks here tonight. Up front, though, Andrew Bolander, Robert Babcock, teammates on the front row. Kevin Kyle still up there in third. No detriment to not taking tires for him yet. Jose Medina outside of the second row. Colin Bollinger, Matt Novella. Oh, and look who's made their way back up, Aaron. It's Jax Duvall.
Jax Duvall, he's 7th. He's the first driver on 4 fresh tires. We'll see how he can do on this restart. He's got Eric Thornton to his inside, also on fresh tires here. We're coming to the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone. Green flag back in the air here from Echo Park Speedway. And we're getting into the final parts of this race. But a really good launch for Bolander.
Bolander on the inside. Kevin Kyle giving him a little push. Bolander going to take it up high and get the perfect angle to bring it into lap number 1. Bolander side by side with his teammate Babcock. Behind him, he's got Medina, Bollinger, Thornton. It's a bunch of high-side hustlers and a bunch of DEI drivers all together with a little sprinkle in there of Jose Medina.
And that outside lane, they're moving now. This time by will be 36 laps to go. The aggression going to start to ramp up. No fuel matters anymore. But that tire wear, if you push too much now, you're paying for it in those next 30 laps or so. But we'll see. So far, the newer tires not able to work their way up too far just yet. But Duvall, he's storming that outside lane. That outside lane is starting to move a little bit forward now. If Duvall gets up there, he should have that advantage with those fresher tires.
Yeah, another guy out there, number 6 of Tom Lester. That guy very aggressive as well, even though he's laps down. Going to keep an eye on him. He's the 4th car on that outside lane. Up front, though, the Rooster Crows tonight in Atlanta. Up front with his teammates, too deep on that inside lane. Medina trying to make it work on the outside with Matt Novella and Eric Thornton. But, boy, it feels nice to have your teammates in a train.
especially that big help on that bottom lane. Those teammates lined up together. They're able to stay and keep that outside lane held back a little bit. Medina trying to get aggressive with that side draft. He's trying to pull that inside lane back as much as he can. He's got Novella right behind him. He's got Duval right behind Novella as well. A little bit of contact there with Thornton a little bit farther back, just behind Duval with that 6 machine of Tom Lester. They keep it together, they all keep it straight, but outside lane, the aggression, you can see the slipping and sliding around, the slicing and dicing. These drivers want to get up front and want to have this shot at that race win.
Yeah, very intense racing here. Look at Novella bringing it all the way down next to Thornton. He's the second car on the outside. Everybody trying to do their part to slow it down. But on the inside, watching DEI along with Kevin Kyle, these guys are just making that bottom. Look at that. There is inches between the front 4 cars.
There's Zach Clausen. He's 3 wide right at the tail end of that as well. So the back of the pack even more dicey as they're trying to slop their way in line to the back of the pack, trying to get that outside lane moving. But that actually ended up killing the outside lane. Now there's only Medina on the outside lane. And Duval, he's got a little bit of help with that 13 machine of Tony Iverson trying to push that outside lane forward. Kevin Kyle gets shuffled out of the top lane though, and now Kevin Kyle on the outside. He's got Medina a few car lengths back trying to work together, but that inside lane, the teammates working together well.
That's not where Kevin Kyle wants to be. Remember, he is on those older tires, and now he's got a bumper full of Jax Duval behind him as well, with Tony Iverson, a couple of the hardest pushers here since the mean streets of Harlem. Those guys trying to make it fast, but those front 4, oh my word. Babcock, Bolander, Bollinger, this thing wide open for those DEI drivers. Got to be happy.
They're working well right now on that inside lane. The outside lane is starting to work a little bit better, but those teammates on the bottom just able to keep it away. If they keep it at this rate, they might be able to stay out for those 3, 1, 2, 3. But right now, that outside lane has to get a little bit momentum forward. They gotta get shaped up a little bit, be able to get that inside lane moving. But Eric Thornton, he's on the fresher tires. Keep in mind, he's leading that inside. He's 4th on that inside lane. If he can get out clear up top, he might be able to pull that outside lane a little bit forward because he's got that little bit extra grip he can use.
Yeah, remember, we saw him make that aggressive move from outside in where he came across the front nose of Clausen.
Kevin Kyle 29! Around, lost the bumper, lost the rear end on the entry of the corner. A few others pile into it there. Jose Medina spinning through the grass. And Kevin Kyle, as we just mentioned the tire, just lost it on the entry.
Yeah, you gotta be smooth, and sometimes when that bottom lane turns at the last second, you don't get the angle you want. You go a little bit harder, and she comes around.
As you see, just right on the inside, just right there, entered pretty low, but slid up the racetrack. Medina kind of swapped that back bumper there, dumped the air on it as well, and sent him around. One hard hit on the inside lane there, the 26 of Hunter Hall getting a tag to that as well. As he got right into Kevin Kyle. He was at the tail end of this pack, trying to move up a little bit as he came in right in at the back bumper of Kevin Kyle. He's a little bit farther back here. But down in the turn number 3, Kevin Kyle's going around, but here comes Hunter Hall right behind him, tries to stay out of the way on the outside lane. As you'll see, Kevin Kyle goes around there, but Hunter Hall has really no time to react. Just right in front of Kevin Kyle as they're wrecking right in front of him. He gets hard on the inside wall there. Big damage to that 26 machine. And I think that left front, it might be destroyed there, and it is. So Hunter Hall, even already 3 laps down tonight, and that's going to be his night over.
He hit Clausen as well when he came down. I couldn't tell if the 26 smacked Clausen or if Clausen got free of that.
Clausen did not get free after he was one of those drivers to spin through the grass. He is running in 3rd right now, so he stayed out on the racetrack, but he gets through it here, gets contact with that 115, the 115 there, Lucas Alves, so he won't get that free pass spot. But Zach Clausen, a little bit of contact, but he actually keeps it okay. A little bit of right front damage possibly, but he actually stayed out on the racetrack. So Zach Clausen will reline up 3rd here as Robert Babcock, Bolander, Bollinger, Novella, Lester, and Medina, they all came down pit road for fresh tires and a full tank of fuel. So well, actually, Babcock just took fuel only, but the rest of them behind him came down and take 4 fresh tires. The top 3 staying out on those older tires now. So now Thornton has the disadvantage on tires, but now he's got the track position.
Yeah, I think you got to attribute the tires, yes, to what happened to Kevin Kyle there, but also Medina. Once you get somebody behind you, changing your aero going into the turn, it's really going to make it a bumpy ride. And I think that's part of what we saw. At least that's what the drivers who did not take tires are hoping. Meanwhile, up front, how about Eric Thornton? He's got to feel like this thing might be looking like a buffet.
And he's got David Owens right behind him, two of those high side hustlers up front now. So now they have the opportunity to kind of take the team control of the front of the field, as now Bollinger, Bolander, and Babcock, now they have to work together and try and get up in front of these two. So now we're going to see kind of two teams battling out in front, and that's definitely going to put on the show.
Yeah, it's been really fun to see this team aspect of the race going on. These fellas, of course, Owens, Thornton, and Iverson, only 3, and as you know, 4 is faster than 3. We'll see how they cut through there. Novella behind them in that group as well, and am I seeing this right? Is Clausen still up in the front of this hot mess?
Clausen is. He's going to line back up in third. He stayed out of that damage. I don't think that wheel got a little bit damaged, but the arrow's okay. If the wheel damages a little bit, it's not too bad, especially here, but that could hurt his tire wear a little bit more. But Clausen needs to stay out in front. That right front looks a little dented up, but it looks pretty much okay. So mostly looks okay, but we'll see how bad that damage is for that 43. But I think he's looking strong up there. He knows it feels just straight. Maybe the wheel feels straight up there. He's ready to get back going underway, and he's got that trap position down.
Other interesting aggressive drivers to keep an eye on. That's the number 6 of Tom Lester. He is the 4th car on the outside, and then Mata behind him. About time those MC Motorsport guys came back. Watching Thornton on the outside. He's going to get the jump. Starts really good. Brings the Rooster with him. Owens and Babcock side by side for second place. Behind them, Bollinger, Clausen off the pace side by side with Lester. Top 4 cars already getting a little lead, but that draft's pulling them all back together.
And Lester, he's going to slop in on the bottom with a big run coming to the David Owens back bumper, and he's going to shove that outside forward. But Mata, he's going to go to the middle, 3 wide, but back for 4th as Mata tries to work his way through, as that's going to shake up the outside lane. That's really going to hurt that outside lane's momentum. And now Babcock in that 53 of Bollinger, they're going to straight back to the outside lane, and they got to work to back their way up front.
Faded backwards, had no help in the middle. Jose Medina comes up, rubs his door a little bit and says, hey buddy, fall into line. It's too early for that kind of foolishness. 7 deep on that inside row, and then side by side. Look at the speed as the 23 of the 24 of Bolander looks high, brings Babcock with him underneath Lester and Clausen, trying to hold him off. Meanwhile, Eric Thornton loves what he sees in his rearview mirror.
It's working out for Thornton and Owens out in front right now, but I forgot to mention during that caution. It's a good time to mention it now. The outside lane, they got the teammate now, but guess who got the lucky dog last time by? Sean Walton back on the lead lap, so he can get up to the top lane and help that outside lane move a little bit more. He's kind of chilling right in the back of the back of that pack right now. Just gotta wait for something to go down. But Sean Walton, he's back on the lead lap, ready to get back up front.
The most exciting man in Monday Night Mayhem, Sean Walton, back on the lead lap. Everybody's cheering on their feet here at Echo Park. Meanwhile, up front, high side hustlers, Eric Thornton and David Owens trying to hold off DEI with a little Fred Lester and Zach Clausen sprinkled in. That rookie running 4th car on the inside, and then Lester by himself, 3rd car on the inside. This thing's still wide open, Aaron. Anybody with a chance.
And for sure, and right now that outside lane is starting to move. The Bolander, he's got the 2 of Babcock behind him, and he's got the 53 of Bollinger right behind him. Those 3 are working well on that outside lane, and they got the 3 teammates compared to the 2 on the bottom. They're working well. They're nice and tight on that outside lane, nose to tail. They're trying to get to the outside. They were almost to the outside of David Owens, but outside lane, it's got momentum. It is moving forward, and they want that race lead.
Yeah, about time. 3 teammates together, and then they got a hard-pushing Mata right behind them. Inside lane trying to make it work. They want to see Lester and Clausen slow that outside lane as much as, are we 3-4 wide? Oh, my word.
For Duval goes to the outside 3 wide. He's going to get split by Mata. He's going to try and slap back in front of the 18 machine, but he's not going to let him in. Duval going to go to the back on the outside lane. That kind of hurt that outside lane just a little bit. So now these drivers, they got to slot back up and get nose to tail once again, try to get that outside lane moving. But Clausen, he's almost clear at the bottom. He's going to stay at the bottom for now. He's almost clear to the top lane there. He thought about taking it up, but Tom Lester, he's got an opportunity. He's just staying at the bottom, though. He had the opportunity to hop up in front of Bolander for now, but stays on the bottom here with 20 to go.
3 wide, not the way to go. We saw Duval try it. Justin Parham said no. We saw Michael Mata try it. The whole damn field said no. This thing still open for 2 lanes. Will 3 lanes be the way to shut it down? Look at David Owens coming up a little bit on Bolander right there, not wanting to get aggressive. Hard push there by Babcock on the outside, but Owens really controlling the field here to keep his teammate in the lead.
Yeah, he's trying to hop up, give that bubble a little bit to the outside lane of Bolander, but it didn't work out there in 3 and 4, because now Bolander with the shove from Babcock on the outside lane. They're to the outside of Owens. They're almost there to the outside of Thornton. They're almost there right to the race lead. They have the opportunity to get there, but just not enough. Only one more car to get there, but they're shoving good on the outside lane. They got the momentum built, and they're side by side with Owens. They're pinning Owens down to the bottom.
Yeah, David Owens doing his best. He needs Fred Lester and Clausen to close it up. Clausen hugging that apron, but I don't think that car is 100%. This is a David Owens block. He looks like Ryan Newman out there, not letting people get by him. Once that outside lane gets through that barrier, Aaron, I think it's curtains, because look at that. You got the 3 DEI cars, and then Michael Mata, one of the fastest guys on the track, 4th on that outside, and there it is. They got through the barrier.
They're clear of Thornton. Bolander, does he take it down to the bottom? He's going to stick with Babcock in Bollinger on the outside lane, but outside lane's moving now. The inside a little bit shaken up. They're not as formed up as the outside is, and now here they come. The fresher tires a little bit on the outside. They're working. They're almost clear, but now the inside lane, the shorter distance, working well for Thornton. He's going to pull alongside, side by side, but the outside lane trying to fight back. They're nose to tail. They're working well in that outside lane.
All of this has come down to these final laps as the boys trying to battle and make it an exciting show for you, me, and the viewers at home. Oh, they threatened to go 3 wide, but they learned from the lessons of the past. Staying 2 wide. Boy, this is just some craziness, hugging the apron and then coming right up. Those hustlers really trying to control that bubble.
They're really trying to keep the outside lane held back. They're making it work for now, but this time by 15 laps to go. The outside just seems a little bit stronger. They're working well on that outside, but keep in mind, we've been green for a few laps now, 10, maybe about 15. We still got 15 to go. We're going to see that tire. We're going to see this rear even slip more and more. We're already seeing a little bit slipping and sliding, but it's only going to get worse here into this final 15 laps.
Car still on the lead lap. Dalton Geyer, the last one on the lead lap, only 1.152 seconds behind. So any kind of foolishness up in the front could still re-rack the entire field and get opportunities to...
there it is! Sideways! Babcock in the outside wall. They all keep it straight. We stay green, but that's going to murder the outside lane's momentum, and now everything calamity all up front.
Wow, Babcock with great awareness there. He pushed in the corner. You can't do that. He saw Bolander go sideways, and he backed off. Everybody touched the wall, but they kept it on the straight and narrow. Now it's Eric Thornton. Now it's David Owens. High side hustlers got to be thrilled as the inside lane owning it. Fred Lester, meanwhile, 4 wide with the Florida man.
Then another checkup there into turn number 1. Almost an incident goes around. There's a second pack. They're all 3 wide. Their calamity are happening in front, right behind Jax Duval. But they're 3 wide. They're double file. They're trying to get the outside lane moving. But meanwhile, that just allowed the top 4 to pull away by a second and a half.
That's the number we said, Aaron. 4 or 5 cars could maintain the same speed as a giant pack. Now let's look back, though. It's Jax Duval, Michael Mata, 2 of the fastest guys. They're going to close that gap relatively quick. Colin Bollinger, Medina, and then on the outside. Yeah, I don't think it's going to take long for them to get in, especially with that lapped car right there helping him out of Steve Lewis.
And they're already there. They're to the back bumper of Zach Clausen. Wow. They got the run. They're going to try and take this to the outside of Steve Lewis. They're going to try and get to the outside of Clausen, but Lester thought about hopping up and maybe try and give it a little bit, maybe try to hop up in front to the outside of David Owens. But caution, we got a wreck in the back.
No! Right when Michael Mata left him out to dry. That's John Beverly in the 01, and that's Babcock in the target, number 2. The Babcock, of course, one of the DEI teammates, so fast, running up front. Oh, and he towed.
And Babcock, he's got that broken right front. That's unrepairable. He is done for the night with just under 15 to go. Unfortunate for Babcock, but let's take a look into turn number 1. He just lost the back end on the old tires and hard hit into the outside wall.
Yeah, it looks like him and Kevin Kyle might have come together, the 29 of Kyle. And then unfortunately for Beverly in the 01, he's just there sitting target.
And nowhere for Beverly to go. He just lost the back bumper. Maybe he made a little bit of contact. I think what happened there, Babcock got loose. He didn't want to spin down into Kyle, so he just kind of tried to save it to the outside, hard at the outside wall, and Beverly nowhere to go. But small little 2-car incident there, but that's going to make a restart here with under 10 to go. We're only going to see it more aggressive here, and we're under 10 to go. It's going to get spicy.
Aaron, I don't know, man. He went high to not get into Kevin Kyle, but did he not know John Beverly's the commissioner of the league? What are you thinking? That's not the guy to wreck into.
Really unfortunate timing there, but we have a few pit stop strategies here. Winkfield on back. Well, Walton, they're all good at pits and take fresh tires. They're about
yes.
on back, so that's Bolander, Novella, Kyle. They're going to take some tires. They're going to try and get some extra advantage here, especially here very late in this race.
That's my guy right there, Sean Walton, getting the tires, going to bring it back out. Look at him, little bit extra time. He's repairing that car. He's going to make it 100%. That's a DEI driver, but Sean Walton, this guy's just getting faster and faster. He won the 6-pack and make very close to the lead almost every time. We can't wait to see what he does. There's Matt Novella coming out, the DDI driver, also road course expert. But hey, this is a super speedway, and anybody that can turn a wheel left and win at this thing.
And Rediger, he will get the free pass for that caution there, so he'll get back on the lead lap. And that 909 machine, so he's got a little bit of damage. He can come down and fix that a little bit, but it looks okay, not too bad. But he gets that time to fix it, but a lot of those drivers are just pitting. They're making sure that car is 100%, getting some fresh tires. Novella will lead those drivers who just pitted, so he will be on the freshest tires out of the rest of the field. But the top 8 going to be on the older tires. How well can they hold on? Bollinger, he's got his teammates behind him that just took tires, so he can help kind of lead those guys out in front. But how aggressive will these guys get? Will we see some 3-4 wide action again? We're going to restart here with 7 to go, so we're going to take the 1 to go signal this time by. But Thorne and Owens, they've been dominant up front through that last run there. We'll see how much longer they can hold on to it.
These guys are pros at using that bubble. I would expect one of them rope-a-dope starts where one of them creates a little bit of space to let the other one sneak in. Tom Lester behind him ain't going to let that foolishness happen. He is a veteran. He's going to close that gap. He's going to hug the apron and get the best out of it he can. The 43 of Clausen outside second row, same situation. That car's got damage on it. He needs to get down to that apron ASAP. But look behind him. Florida man, Michael Mata, Jose Medina, that is a murderer's row. There's Justin Parham, the 53 of Colin Bollinger. There's a lot of names out there that are wanting to move forward, and you just might be in their way.
Yeah, and these drivers, they're going to get aggressive. They're not going to cut brakes anymore. It is not going to be any more give out on this racetrack. All take everywhere you can go. With 7 to go, you're going to have to take everything you can get if you want to win this race and make your way into the playoffs. Keep in mind, we have 2 drivers. 1 lap down is Lucas Alves and Joseph Alves. If we get another caution, one of those 2, they're going to be battling for the repass position. So if we get another caution, we have another few other strong cars that can be up in this battle for the win tonight. But it's going to be Thornton and Owens on the restart once again with the pace car. Takes that hard left turn on the pit road.
Look at Duval already smashing into the back of Fred Lester, telling him to get closer. All right, outside lane, looking at Thornton. He's going to bring him into the restart zone, and away we go. Great jump, leaves behind Clausen. Then Owens has the opportunity, moves right up behind Thornton. Lester as well, and it's Clausen stuck on the outside, and now he's got Michael Mata all up in his tailpipe. Clausen slams it down to the inside lane. Good move there by the 43 to take over the 4th spot. Behind him, Duval, Michael Mata on the outside by himself. Duval wants to be on the outside. Here comes the 53 to push him with Mata, the third car, on the outside.
The inside lane instantly got going a lot better, but the outside lane hops up to the top now. Duval with a good run. He's got a little bit of help from behind with Bollinger, and now the guys with the fresh tires. Bolander, he's gonna shove Mata through as well. So now the fresh tires gonna try and work their way up on the outside lane, but it's still Owens and Thornton dominant in that bottom right now. But that outside lane gonna have running out of time. They're gonna try and keep pushing aggressive, more and more aggressive here. We're coming to 5 laps to go. This time by Duval, she's gonna get to the outside of Owens in a 3.
Now, Duval, he will take it all the way down. If they think they're going to come up and bully Duval, they're going to learn the hard way tonight. Thornton trying to come up. Look at Owens bringing Duval up, and Duval doors him right back down. Bollinger in the wall.
Bollinger
and he's still
going. He keeps it straight, and they keep it going. Duval, he's side drafting the inside lane of Owens and Thornton down as much as possible. But Lester, he'll hop up and push Duval, and now the inside lane has a gap to fill. The outside lane giving a good shove. Lester tries to get the outside 3 wide. He wants to try and lead that outside lane, but he's going to get shuffled back as Bollinger goes to the middle.
Light contact by the 53 into the 6. The 6 is going to fade back. Inside lane with all the advantage. Thornton, Owens, Clausen making it work on the outside. Lester took a chance, went high, did not pay off. And now it's Matt Novella moving up into 5th. Behind him, you can see Jose Medina. Novella 4, Medina 5, and now the outside lane. And Duval sideways.
Duval goes around, and that's going to bring out the caution. We're going to overtime.
Michael Mata turned him sideways. Duval was driving about as fast and aggressive as you can, and that's just the way it goes sometimes.
Let's take a look at what happened here into turn number 3. Duval on the outside lane. We're shaping up for a good one. Bolander, he's going to be in a good spot for this one. But right behind him, just a swipe of there, a little bit of net code there actually with the 24 Bolander. Unfortunate for Jax Duval there, but he ends up going around. Doesn't look too badly damaged. He can come down and get that fixed, but he's going to have to come back out of pit road and get back rolling. But doesn't look too terribly damaged, but he's going to have to work his way for the tail end of the field once again.
Oh, if anybody can do it, it's going to be the Florida man of Jax Duval. Coming back up, unfortunate contact. Andrew Bolander, that 24 guy is about as clean of a driver as you're ever going to find. So very regretful. My question to you is, who was ahead, Alves or Vulpes?
And it looks like we'll see this time by. Alves is in front. We'll see. It could be a little bit weird scoring, but neither of them. It will be Vulpes. Joseph Vulpes will get the free pass.
Mr. I've won 3 of my last 4 league races. Mr. I won Sunday on a super speedway. That 11 Lowe's Ford has damage, Aaron, but I mean, if he can get in that pace, he's one more caution away from making a run.
Especially, he's no stranger to moving up. We saw him in the Bonfire Premier Cup Series just yesterday morning, but now it's Sunday morning because now it's Monday morning here on the East Coast. So, welcome you to join us there. But Joseph Vulpes, he'll get that free pass, and he's got time to work his way up. He's got overtime to do it, but another caution. He gains a few more spots. He can get up there. He knows his way to work his way up front, and Joseph Vulpes, no stranger to winning here on a super speedway. We'll see what he can do for the tail end of the field.
Going to be 15 cars on the lead lap. Those boys in the back, though, got their work cut out if they want to move up. Sean Walton back in 11th, didn't see him make the push that I thought he would. Tom Lester, maybe he learned his lesson. He went high and nobody went with him. So that, Aaron, it's just dangerous. It seems like a lot of guys are hugging the bottom and they're leaving folks out to dry who take that high side. But now on this green-white checker, do you think now everybody goes high? You think we're going to see some of that 3-wide action?
I think we definitely will, but it's definitely going to, you can't really be too aggressive with it. If you go 3 wide, that could really hurt the outside lane big time. And in here, we've seen in the past few restarts, Thornton and Owens, they've been very quick to slot each other in line. If they can get another good restart, they can really hurt that outside lane. That outside lane has to quickly get formed up. If that outside lane doesn't get formed up pretty much on this first lap, they're pretty much not going to be able to go anywhere. And it's going to have to come, the winner's probably going to come from behind in 3rd and 4th. And they're going to have to make a run to the high lane coming off the final corner. But if these two, Thornton and Owens, if they can get another good restart, they have a really good chance at winning this one.
24 Bolander in the 53. of Bollinger. That's the third and fourth car on the outside. Teammates, you know they're going to go with it. They're probably going to try to hook up with Novella, but you're right. I expect to see Thornton and Owens in some configuration get back down on that bottom. Clausen in that 43, he's not made aggressive moves, seems happy to hug the apron. The 54 of Medina right behind Clausen, they're teammates in the Sunday League, so I don't expect aggressive moves from the 54 at the expense of the 43. So I'm going to keep my eye on what does Matt Novella do. We know what Thornton's going to do. Him and Owens are going to go nose to tail again. But what will Novella do? Will he duck down or will he stay outside with DEI and try to make it happen and try to go for that win? Pace car is off. Here we go. Green-white checker time, my friends. Thornton on the outside control car. Going to bring it in the restart zone. Away he goes.
Big stack up on the bottom.
Look at the bottom choke. Clausen misses a gear or spins it. Finally rolling outside. Novella is going to stay out there, and he's got those DEI boys with him, Aaron.
That is not what the inside of David Owens and Eric Thornton needed. Now the outside lane, they're moving. Matt Novella, he's clear. Andrew Bollinger right behind him on the fresh tires. Here comes Bollinger. Here comes Lester. Lester just got shuffled back, and now he's back up front. Novella, he's going to the bottom, but Bollinger with Bollinger behind him, they're going to go around the outside. White flag, 1 to go here from Echo Park.
Touching right now as they come across the green-white checker. They're bringing it in to turn number 1. Matt Novella is your leader. He's got Thornton and Owens below him outside DEI, along with Fred Lester and Michael Mata in that mess. This thing still wide open down the back stretch. Matt Novella, he's ahead of Thornton. Thornton pretends to go high. I think he might be happy to watch Matt Novella win this thing. It is the 56 of Matt Novella. They're dancing in New York because Matt Novella is gonna win here today at Echo Park.
And
Owens gets spun.
Dead even heat to the line for second. Eric Thornton will get David Owens by 0.03 of a second.
Oh my word. And then Zach Clausen just spun Owens there at the end for good measure. That was fun.
But what a win from Matt Novella. Made the move at the right time, but Eric Thornton and David Owens did not get that restart they wanted. Zach Clausen behind him missed a shift there, and that really hurt the inside lane big time. And all the teammates on the outside able to push Novella clear, and Novella played that perfectly, and he wins tonight here at Echo Park.
Number 56 DDI driver has to be thrilled. Look at him getting the little tap there from Jax Duval. Normally when Duval taps you, you go spinning, but that one looked celebratory. Matt Novella has to be thrilled here today. What a great run by the New York Giant fan. At least something's going good in the sports world for him. And look at him spinning around, doing the donuts. Aaron, this race gave us everything that it promised. It gave us hijinks. It gave us cautions. It gave us green flag pit stops. And here at the end, what a shootout.
Yeah, it was definitely an exciting, thrilling race all night long. We saw him slipping and sliding around, and that was a very hectic, thrilling finish, and Novella able to come out on top, and he's the one celebrating it down here, and he's burning it down here at Echo Park Speedway.
We should bring some of these boys in here and listen to their exuberance or disastrous. Usually here on Vortex Racing, we do the podium, but we also do a wild card. So I'm going to put that pressure on you, Aaron. If there was one guy that wasn't on the podium that you could talk to, who do you want to talk to?
I think I got to give it to Sean Walton. He had to drive his way through the field. He was multiple laps down throughout the race, but he had to drive his way up through the field. He wasn't able to work his way up there late, but he was there to help his teammates. He had just a few bad luck, but he still picks up a solid top 10 finish tonight after a great comeback for that guy.
All right, I'm going to pull him down because I love that guy. He is by far one of my favorite drivers, and I see everything through rose-colored glasses. All right, guess what? You got him.
Oh, hello.
Sean Walton, welcome to the booth, and you're going to be kind of our wild card pick for the broadcast tonight. So you had to work your way through the field multiple times. You went a couple laps down. You had your teammates out there. You're working with your teammates out there tonight. But just kind of talk us through your race. How are you able to kind of come back and get back on that lead lap and still get to pick up a solid top 10 finish and just able to get your laps back, really?
Well, I mean, At the beginning there, it was just survive, which I did not do enough or good enough. And it put me a couple laps down. I had like 5 minutes of damage at one point from a wreck that was clearly my fault. But then I just stayed patient, rode in the back, and then when I needed to go get my laps back, because I knew everyone was gonna stick to the bottom, and if I could get the top rolling, people would go with me. So to pass the other lap cars that were battling for the lucky dog, I just ripped the top and then had to stay out because I had a 16X and the 17X is the drive-through, so I had to stay out of trouble the rest of the race, and it was just kind of stressful, kind of chaotic there at the end.
Yeah, you worked your way up through multiple. You got you're about up to 2 laps down, but you had your teammates there late. You worked your way, working with them all night long. Just talk us through how well were those teammates able to work with you, and just how important was teammate help tonight?
Yeah, I mean, when I went first time that I went a lap down, they kind of like let me lead their line. So 1, they could save fuel, and 2, if there was a caution, I would be able to stay on the lead lap. And instead of like passing me, putting me a lap down and making me have to fight for the lucky dog, which, I mean, that's just what teammates are for, you know. If it was any other person, they would just pass me on the outside while I was slower. But yeah, I mean, it was just kind of wanted to have like the Penske train there at the end, but I couldn't get to him. I wanted to help him really bad. Just help him clear Novella, clear Thornton, but I just couldn't get up there in time. Yeah.
But you're still able to come back pretty strong and still get a solid top 10 run. But before we send it off on the way here tonight, any sponsors I think for tonight's top 10?
No sponsored, but shout out to Colin, Andrew, Robert. Shout out to those guys. Shout out to you guys for running the broadcast. Shout out to Plan. I don't know why he didn't race. He loves this track, but yeah, that's it.
And once again, congrats on your comeback tonight, able to get that top 10 spot.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, I love watching Sean race. He's definitely one of the most exciting drivers. I only disagree with one thing that he said. That was when he said that it was his fault. It's never, when I'm watching, it's not Sean's fault. You know, something else happened. It was probably a wild pebble, Aaron. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
all right, so that's my guy. All right, so let's go ahead and bring in David Owens, huh? Let me hunt this guy down. Man, oh man, what a run. And he's hiding. He's not in his chat.
He's not in here. We're gonna have to try and find him around.
Oh, he's with somebody. Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what? I bet he's not in waiting either. Where's David Owens?
We're trying to find David Owens. David Owens is missing.
This guy, I mean, he'll show up in the middle of a broadcast and just kick the booth door down like he's Stone Cold Steve Austin. And now all of a sudden I'm trying to hunt him down. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to invite him to the booth. And then when we talk to somebody else, I'll bet you $1. I bet you $1 he shows
He'll
up.
definitely come in later.
Right in the middle of it too. Like right when you start talking to somebody else, here it is. Invite. All right. But David Owens, you know, him and Thornton really controlling that race there at the end. They did such a great job on that bottom line. And then when Clausen just slipped and could not make that happen, it just seemed to go sideways for that front running team. I am still looking. High Side Hustler. None of those guys are there. They must be sad-faced. That whole team bailed.
We can bring in Eric Thornton, though, if we can find him as well.
He's another hustler. That's another High Side Hustler. Like their channel.
They done left. They're not happy after that one.
They're mad. They must be mad. All right, that's fine. You know why? We're going to bring in Matt Novella. I know where that guy is. Yo, Matt, are you there, buddy?
Yes, sir, Mean Gene. What's up?
Oh, I can't see you through the smoke. My gosh, what's happening down there? How do you feel?
Oh, dude, emotional roller coaster. I tell you that much, man. From getting knocked down pit road to going a lap down to getting the lucky dog back and just fighting back.
I tell you what, man, You had to see it too, right? You're watching the high side hustlers just blocking this race, right? You got Clausen on the bottom. He's not going anywhere in that broke car. You know you're going to have to go up high if you want to do anything. But everybody that went high kind of got ate up and went backwards. When did you just roll the dice? Did you time it? What was the process here?
Well, I knew Thornton was going to, get a jump so we can jump down in front of Owens. So I knew I just had to give it a hell of a restart so I can stay with him and see if I can try to clear myself with him, along with him or something. But as soon as Thornton got clear, he started checking up. I was like, I'm just going to stay on the outside, and I think I got a push from Bolander, which got me going pretty good. And then, I was just mirror driving after that.
Yeah, that DEI team was hauling. They were the other team we saw control, High Side Hustlers being one. And once they lost Tony Iverson, things kind of changed for them. Suddenly, they're enlisting the aid of Zach Clausen and Tom Lester. Meanwhile, the DEI team of Walton, Bollinger, and Bolander, that's what you got into the front of there, and just really benefiting those guys managing to get you around there. How were your tires there at the end? Aaron and I were talking about how tires here more of an effect than at Talladega or Daytona. Did the tire wear affect you when you decided to make the moves?
I thought so. Definitely those long runs. It's definitely tough to keep the car on the bottom line there. So I knew with those couple of cautions there right there at the end, I had a couple of sets with all these cars that were still a lap down. I knew I wasn't going to lose that much track position. So I know I pitted like twice in the last 25 laps, put on my last set, and hope for the best.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Tires were definitely a factor, because that long run we had, I was definitely a handful in some of those corners.
You say hope for the best. Well, guess what, my friend? The best has embraced you, and tonight you are the best winner at Echo Park. And you know what else you did tonight? You got a golden ticket, my friend.
Yes,
you are going to You're going to Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. You got to be thrilled about that. And how about DDI, right?
Yeah, man, getting DDI up there is good.
Get that DDI win.
Zach wasn't here in the booth to see it, though. I missed
enthusiastic
yes.
Well, let me ask you this. You want to go to Italy, or do you want to watch some iRacing?
Well, you can do both, can't you?
Look at you. You're making it tough. But you know what? That's what winners do. Winners make it tough. Hey, Matt, anybody you want to give a shout out to here tonight?
Just the fam, everybody at DDI. Zach, hope you have fun in your honeymoon. I'm sure you're watching. And, ready for next week and get this going.
Ooh, my word. Look at that, Aaron. The guy just won, and he's talking about next week already. I mean, yeah. How much hungrier can you get? Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm always hungry.
You're always hungry? Why?
Yeah. What's that?
You said because you're a Giants fan?
Because I'm a fat dude. I'm a
fat dude. Congratulations, my friend. Go have you a cold one, bud. You earned it. My word. What a win.
Thanks, Mean Gene. Thank you.
There he is, man. The number 56, Matt Novella, getting the dub for DDI here tonight. I got to tell you, Aaron, I'm kind of shocked. I know I said anybody could win it a few times, but I feel like Matty he ran down from the top row and jumped off the top turnbuckle and smacked down on both those teams.
Yeah, he went out there right at the last possible moment. He got that outside working. He had that help from Bolander on the outside. He came down, got to the bottom, which has been the strong lane. It wasn't really working well together. It was a little separated, but he got it working. He got that help from Thornton and Eric Thornton and David Owens right on the bottom at the last lap. He was able to block off everyone else behind. He solo. He had that both of those guys cleared by at least a couple car lengths at the line. So he played that perfectly. He got that win, and he's ready to go win it again next week.
Tell you what, he wasn't even hesitant, was he? He's like, I want more. It's like he's at the buffet. There's only 4 raw oysters left, and he's going to make sure he gets all 4 of them before that other kid runs up and gets them. Let's go ahead and look at the final here results. Do you have a final treat?
We'll bring up those final results of the night. Matt Novella by a 10th and a half. That just shows you how well he made that move on that white flag over Eric Thornton and David Owens. Bolander rounds out the top 4. Clausen rounds out that top 5 there too.
Wow. And then Colin Bollinger. It's crazy. Bolander and Bollinger, Bollinger dominating the race at one point, not even on the podium. Thornton and Owens thought it was theirs until Matt Novella comes out. Below them, how about Jose Medina, first to Engage Motorsports, going to pull out the 7th. Michael Mata making an appearance for MC Motorsports. Sean Walton with the good 9th place, considering he was 2 laps down. And then Kevin Kyle. Boy, you know, if you weren't hitting the wall, you were hitting Kevin Kyle. Really good to see Kevin come out of there with that top 10. Heck of a race tonight here. Aaron, what do you leave here thinking? This was like your first chance to really see up close these crazy boys on Monday. What are you thinking walking away from this foolishness?
Yeah, these guys were slicing and dicing. They're putting that aggressive racing on, and that gives the best. That gives the best racing. Nice and aggressive. They were nice and clean. Pretty much towards the end of it, you had a few big ones right at the very start. They kind of calmed down a little bit, but they got aggressive and nice and clean right at the very end, and we saw a thrilling finish. And I can't wait to come back next week and see these guys slice and dicing at the Lady in Black next week.
Absolutely, that is gonna happen. We're gonna have him come back with us next week when we see these boys race once again, keeping track of the progress of these fellas. 31 guys today. It looked 32 guys today. And some of it looks like a junkyard in the back there, unfortunately, but I think that's the price you pay on the super speedway-esque Atlanta Echo Park here with the narrowed straightaways. But great racing. Can't believe that final finish. Congratulations, Matt Novella. He is the man here today, punches his ticket to the playoffs, and joins Colin and Andrew as 3 of the 12 that will show down for our season championship at Kentucky once we get through that 7-race playoffs. Any final thoughts before we head out of here?
Yeah, that win definitely going to be a big factor getting into those playoffs. You don't have to worry about that through the rest of the regular season, and it's definitely a much bigger pressure let off of you. But then you can go out there, play some wild strategies at other racetracks, trying to get some extra bonus points there as well. So that helps a big time, and that definitely helps for Novella. But it was definitely a great race tonight, and I'm excited for next week.
Yeah, and that dude right there is also a road course expert. Like any of the road courses that we hit, he could steal another win on there as well. There's a few ringers in there, but he's definitely one of those guys. Well, Aaron, I think that's going to wrap us up, man. Unless you got any big news, you want to shut her down?
I think we're ready to go, but next up tomorrow night, I hope for you all to join us on the Vortex Racing Network tomorrow night for the Bonfire Truck Racing Truck Series. So that'll definitely be fun, and also join for the Vortex Racing Network throughout the week as well. So you got a lot of broadcasts coming up throughout the week, and that's definitely a lot of those drivers ready to slice and dice it and ready to get going week in and week out.
Yeah, they never stop here. Vortex, of course, trucks on Tuesday, Bonfire, Big Trucking Tuesday, DDI Race League Wednesday night. They are off for 2 weeks because somebody's in Italy, Zach. And Thursday, Thriller Truck Series as well from the Moonlight Racing League. That is going to wrap us up from Echo Park. I am Mean Gene Money with Aaron Brown. Want to thank our sponsor, KK Woodworks. If you got trophies, that's your guy. Look him up because he can make your first place win memorial, your first top 10. Maybe Zach ought to call him up and get his first top 5 trophy. That guy's already blowing up my DMs talking about my first top 5. Congratulations to all the drivers. Matt Novella punching his way into the playoffs, and we're going to see you next time. As always, ladies and gentlemen, bottoms up and hammer down.
What's